Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry, trying to get my phone working. Um, I wanted to uh, spend a little bit of time today talking about Father's Day. I'm here at my grandparents' house right now and visiting with my grandfather Kimball, and my father is here, and we're just visiting and reminiscing on fathers and sons trips that we've taken camping, fishing trips, and just principles and wisdom that we've learned over the years from our fathers. I want to share a quick story about my father. Um, Father was always a very leadership oriented type of man. He could be quiet at times, and much of his time he would spend with his nose deep in the scriptures or in books on various topics of uh, gospel study. Um, but also, my father would he was a great cook. He had a lot of hidden talents that he never boasted of, but he just had them and would display them whenever opportunity would arise. One such occasion, we were participating in a kind of a neighborhood, not really like a ward or stake function, but like a neighborhood chili cook-off. And Father always made the most amazing chili. Chili is just kind of like a, you know, it's a staple here for us Kimball boys. My brothers and I, growing up, always enjoyed to have a hot bowl of my father's chili or taco soup, which is a variant of his chili. Um, but one year there was this chili cook-off, and my father had won this annual neighborhood chili cook-off. It was around Pioneer Day, about every year. And then one year, my father, his chili was just it. I had tasted it. It was the best he had ever made it. And he placed the crock pot full of steaming, uh, bean infested, and, you know, savory chili on the table. And there was a gentleman who was actually he was like a local movie star, if you will, who was participating in this chili cook-off. Now, he didn't live in our neighborhood, but he was a friend of some of our neighbors. And he was actually kind of a zany fellow. He went by Super Dell or something like that. And he was in the Singles Ward movie as some Star Trek fanatic or something like that, or Star Wars or something. And he brought his chili forward too, and he was a very competitive person and really wanted to win. And what essentially happened was, when no one was looking, this man opened a little canister of power bait. Um, it was I don't know if any of you are anglers out there, but salmon egg themed fish bait, and dumped it into my father's chili, so as to sabotage the his competitive concoction. And when the time came for tasting, there was an undeniable fish themed taste of my father's chili. And when I went to go taste test it, because I was shocked at what the judges were saying, I actually threw up on the spot in front of everyone. And it was just a big disaster. And we didn't know what happened until a while back. Or, sorry, a while after, when someone mentioned that they had seen this man who was zany and known for all sorts of public stunts and things like that. They'd seen him do it, and they'd heard from this man that he had spiked the chili with power bait. My dad never once called up this guy and complained or threw a fuss or anything like that. But it was hilarious because my dad kept the chili. He never once complained about the outcome. He tasted it himself and he thought it tasted zany, and he thought to discard it, but rather than do that, he kept it. And on one of our family fishing trips to Fish Lake in Utah, we were out on a boat, and my father actually had the fish egg themed chili that he didn't even know at the time was full of fish eggs, and dumped the chili into the water so as to chum the water. And I can't tell you how many rainbow trout my brothers and I pulled up on the boat that day. And we had an absolute trout jamboree afterward. I just wanted to speak to my father's ability to make the best out of disappointment. To, when life hands you lemons, or in this case, fish eggs, you make lemonade, so to speak, but in this case, you chum the water and you pull up even more trout than you ever could have imagined. I just wanted to share that story about my father and how he's always been a good example to me of, taking it on the chin. I wish that I were better at doing that, and sometimes I do find myself, when I feel misrepresented, trying to represent myself more accurately. Whereas my father, kind of like the Savior, Jesus Christ, seldom became bitter with anyone. He realized that the way people treat others is a lot of the time a projection of how they feel on the inside about themselves. So he didn't really take very many things personally. And on this Father's Day, oh, my camera's all wonky. Sorry. That's better. On this Father's Day, I just wanted to honor my father and tell that quick little story. And for any father out there, I hope that you understand how much responsibility is in your hands. A lot of the time we downplay the responsibility of men in society because weak people and weak men will minimize their role because they believe that in order to be a modern man, you have to downplay yourself in order to lift women up. And I think that we put women down by doing that, and we put men down at the same time, and our families suffer. I just want to applaud all the men out there who rise to the occasion and who treat their wives and their children with respect and love and kindness and patience, and who are humble enough to recognize when they're wrong, but brave enough to do what's right even when no one else thinks it's the right thing to do. I want to let you know that today I prayed for all the fathers in the world, that they will know that their divine mission is a lot more than what they can comprehend in this mortal realm, but that fathers are an eternal concept. And so just please understand and remember that. I apologize for the poor quality of this stream. I had hoped to actually film some thoughts on my laptop tomorrow, but my son Rancher has snapped it in half, so this will suffice. But I hope you all have a blessed Father's Day, and if you're not a father and you have a father, which everyone does, within reasonable range, I want you to just run up and give him a big hug and tell him how much you appreciate him. or call him on the phone and tell him how much you appreciate him. All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.